On July 9th, 2026, when news quietly emerged that veteran actor Randolph Mantooth had passed away at the age of 80 in a hospice care facility in Ventura, California, a wave of heartfelt sorrow swept across America. His passing not only brought the journey of an extraordinary life to a close, but also marked the farewell to an icon who had become an inseparable part of the memories of millions. More than half a century earlier, through the 129 episodes of the legendary series Emergency, his resolute face and passionate gaze as Johnny Gage entered the living rooms of 30 million households every week. He was far more than an actor portraying a paramedic. He was the pioneer who introduced the public to the everyday heroes in white medical coats and firefighting gear, bringing their remarkable work into the spotlight. Yet what few people realized was that behind the dazzling success of this television legend lay a life filled with unexpected twists and turns. From a lonely boy who wandered across 24 states without ever finding a stable place to call home, to an extraordinary journey that transformed the imaginary world of his childhood into a career that inspired the saving of countless lives in the real world, Mantooth's story has always held untold secrets waiting to be discovered. Then, in the moment of saying goodbye to his lifelong friend, Kevin Tighe, his co-star of 54 years finally shared an emotional tribute, confirming what so many had quietly wondered for decades about the true man behind the screen persona of Randolph Mantooth. Few people know that before becoming a familiar face on television, Randolph Mantooth spent his early years struggling with loneliness and a deep sense of uncertainty. Born in Sacramento in 1945, he grew up with a quiet yet profound pride in his multicultural heritage, carrying the proud bloodlines of the Cherokee Nation through his father and the Seminole people through his mother. However, instead of enjoying the stability of a peaceful hometown, his childhood was marked by constant relocation. Because of his father's work, Mantooth moved and lived in 24 different states across America before he reached the age of 18. Constantly being the new student, walking into unfamiliar schools under the watchful eyes of strangers, pushed young Randolph into an intensely isolated inner world. Without lifelong friends to lean on, he turned to conversations with himself. That loneliness unexpectedly awakened an extraordinary imagination. Within his own private world, he created and performed thousands of imaginary stories, learning to observe people, step into different characters, and understand human nature from a remarkably young age. Little did anyone know that those lonely days of performing for himself would become his very first acting school, refining the natural artistic instincts that would later define his professional career. His true turning point came only after his family settled down and he discovered the stage at a high school in Santa Barbara. For the first time, his loneliness was transformed into creative energy, and the applause of the audience showed him where he truly belonged. That remarkable talent opened the doors to the prestigious American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York, where the foundations of a future television legend were firmly established. When Emergency first premiered in 1972, few could have imagined that the series would spark a groundbreaking revolution that would reshape emergency medical services across the United States. At the time, the concept of a professional paramedic was virtually unknown to the general public. In fact, the entire state of California had only 13 people working in that role. Yet, through the vision of its producers, the series brought these everyday heroes out of the shadows and into the public eye. To achieve such an extraordinary impact, the production team established exceptionally demanding standards of authenticity on set. The moment the fire station alarm sounded, every joke and every moment of distraction among the cast disappeared instantly. In their place came an atmosphere of intense concentration, recreating as faithfully as possible the immense pressure faced by real emergency responders. The directors would never tolerate careless performances or unrealistic emergency procedures in front of the camera. Because of these demanding expectations, the principal cast underwent an extraordinarily rigorous period of training. They did far more than memorize scripts. They attended practical medical training sessions at local hospitals, where they learned intravenous treatment techniques, wound care and emergency trauma procedures under the supervision of experienced professionals. Beyond that, they regularly accompanied real fire crews to observe emergency responses firsthand and gain invaluable practical insight. To deliver the greatest possible realism for audiences, Randolph Mantooth and his co-star Kevin Tighe performed the vast majority of their own dangerous action scenes. They refused to rely on stunt performers whenever the audience could clearly see their faces during emergency sequences. Their unwavering commitment turned every episode into a powerful lesson in courage and quiet sacrifice. The legacy of Emergency extended far beyond the boundaries of an ordinary television drama during the 1970s. The series ignited a passion that directly inspired tens of thousands of young people to pursue careers in firefighting and emergency medical services. Its influence became so significant that costumes, equipment, and other artifacts from the production are now preserved with honor at the Smithsonian Institution. Even more remarkably, they are recognized not merely as entertainment memorabilia, but as historical contributions to public service. The enduring bond between Randolph Mantooth and Kevin Tighe was forged during the years when both were young, unknown actors struggling to establish themselves beneath the bright lights of Hollywood. Joining a major television production alongside an experienced cast created a powerful sense of unity between them. Amid the relentless pressures of the set, they found genuine understanding in one another, sharing the feeling that it was us against the world, as they worked to prove themselves. Through every high and low of their careers, they built a friendship that far surpassed the ordinary boundaries of professional colleagues. The extraordinary chemistry between Johnny Gage and Roy DeSoto on screen was never simply the result of exceptional acting. It was the natural reflection of the genuine friendship shared by Mantooth and Tighe in real life. They stood beside one another through the heights of fame and the quieter chapters that followed. Their brotherhood became so enduring that Kevin Tighe was chosen to serve as Mantooth's best man at his wedding in 2002. It was perhaps the clearest proof that their bond had grown far beyond television to become a lifelong friendship. In recognition of their quiet yet groundbreaking contributions to the community, both men received honors unlike any that had come before. Randolph Mantooth and Kevin Tighe were presented with the traditional white leather helmet of the Los Angeles County Fire Department, one of its highest symbols of respect. They were also officially named honorary fire chiefs by the department. These honors represented far more than appreciation for two gifted actors. They affirmed that both men had truly become part of the American firefighting family. Despite achieving tremendous success and earning an enormous following through the rescue drama that made him famous, Randolph Mantooth never allowed success to become a reason for complacency. Even after the acclaimed series concluded, when he received an official invitation to become a real firefighter, he remained committed to his artistic path. He understood that his calling was not simply to extinguish fires in the real world, but to continue using the power of storytelling to touch the hearts of audiences. That decision reflected both his long-term vision and his profound respect for the acting career he had chosen in his youth. As his career continued to evolve, Mantooth embraced a wide variety of long-running television dramas with remarkable professionalism. However, he never hesitated to voice his honest, and at times sharply critical, opinions about experiences that failed to meet his standards. One notable example was his public admission that he felt uncomfortable and even disliked working on the set of the popular series General Hospital. To him, great artistry had to be built on authenticity and mutual respect, and he was never willing to compromise in environments that fell short of those principles. In complete contrast to those disappointing experiences, Mantooth devoted his heart and soul to the long-running drama Loving. There, he found the creative environment he had always hoped for, where the producers gave him complete freedom to shape and develop his character. As a result, he experienced some of the most fulfilling years of his acting career, dedicating himself wholeheartedly to the role for 9 consecutive years without ever losing his enthusiasm. That chapter proved that when surrounded by passion and respect, Mantooth always shone with the purest energy of a genuine artist. In 2015, Randolph Mantooth faced the greatest challenge of his life when he was diagnosed with throat cancer. Confronted with a life-threatening illness and painful treatments, he refused to give in and instead chose to fight with extraordinary determination. Through remarkable resilience and an unbreakable spirit, Mantooth battled the disease for more than a decade. Those years became powerful testimony to the strength of a man who had already overcome a turbulent childhood and now stood firm against the storm of serious illness. Perhaps even more inspiring was the fact that during the final months of his life, when declining health had left him noticeably frail, he still refused to step away from his work. He devoted his remaining strength to serving as executive producer of the deeply meaningful documentary Into the Unknown. The project was created to offer an authentic look at the immense challenges facing today's emergency medical professionals while honoring their quiet sacrifices. It was far more than another filmmaking project. It became his final mission to express his gratitude and fulfill his lifelong commitment as an ambassador for the profession so closely associated with his name. When news of his passing was announced in the middle of July 2026, the emergency medical community across the United States united in mourning. From small local fire stations to major healthcare institutions, people came together to honor him as a true giant of his generation. They regarded him not merely as a television icon, but as a genuine representative who brought dignity and lasting respect to the life-saving profession. His passing left an immense void, yet the values he championed will continue to echo throughout the history of emergency medicine. Looking back on the extraordinary journey of Randolph Mantooth's life, it is impossible not to be moved by a story that feels both remarkable and deeply human. From a lonely boy who wandered through 24 states, never feeling that he truly belonged anywhere in America, he ultimately found his place in the world. Through talent, dedication, and compassion, he created a real-life fairy tale, ensuring that his name would forever belong to every fire station and every home across the nation. The greatest appeal and the most enduring legacy Randolph Mantooth leaves behind do not lie in sophisticated acting techniques or the glamour of fame. Reflecting on his closest friend of 54 years, Kevin Tighe offered a profoundly moving tribute that commands admiration from us all. Randolph Mantooth's greatness was simply this: he was always his most genuine, humble, and authentic self, both in front of the camera and in everyday life. Now that this remarkable figure has completed his life's journey, the flame he ignited will continue to burn brightly in the hearts of millions. Johnny Gage may never appear in new episodes again, but the image of that devoted hero in the white uniform will forever remain part of the history of emergency medical services in the United States. Randolph Mantooth may be gone, leaving behind a void that can never truly be filled, but the story of his life will continue to inspire generations to come. Randolph Mantooth's passing not only brought a glorious chapter of 20th century television to a close, but also left fans with a profound sense of gratitude for his friendship, dedication, and compassion. His legacy, from the unforgettable Johnny Gage to his quiet contributions to emergency medical services, will forever remain a beacon of inspiration for both present and future generations. What do you think left the deepest impression on you about the extraordinary legacy of Randolph Mantooth? Share your thoughts in the comments, or share this story with others to help celebrate the inspiring life of a true hero, both on screen and beyond.